I'm Wesley Stromberg.
I'm Megan Nicole.
I'm Sammy Wilkinson.
I'm Melvin Gregg.
And I'm Ricky Lake. These are some of the most influential social media personalities. So we thought, why not use these influencers to do some good?
Malawi, here we come.
We're about to go into Jacaranda, into the school. The children that you're going to see, 98% of them are orphaned by AIDS. And a number of them are living HIV. In the past, you could tell who's HIV or not, but because you have the ARVs.
The antiviral, right?
Antivirals. We need those medications. I have 14 members of my family who have died. If we had those medications, they'd be alive today. Your campaign is just amazing.
I've never cried from like being happy before. I don't even know how to explain it.
This is my boy John. Me and John, we go way back. Tell us about when you was living on the street.
When I was born, I was born with HIV, but I didn't know what is in my body. My mother died. So my relatives say that they'll never ever live with me. Here in Malawi, a person has HIV and AIDS. It seems like he's an animal. Then I just decided to go in the street and beg because no one could help me. So I knew that to take the medicine each and every day. If I could not do that perfectly, I would die. And the doctor told me that, the nurse, I don't want to die.
It's life or death.
Yes.
So if you could tell us how HIV and AIDS has impacted your family.
When my father passed away a long time ago, he leaves my mom with a pregnant and HIV and AIDS. So I had to stop school. That time I was 11 years old. So I had to take care of my family. Although I don't have HIV, but it disturbs me also in my education. Yeah. If we can only have the medicine, their children like me, they won't suffer, they won't struggle for school, they will go to school, they won't drop out and studying again and again, but they will be okay.
Jamila's family is that her mother came here, she was very sick, she was HIV, and literally had said to me, if anything happens to me, please take care of my children.
So you lost your mom and your dad?
Yeah. Parents are parents, eh? Yeah, and to be without parents is something which is very bad. Yeah, so that time I wasn't even feeling well.
If her mother had taken medicine, had the drugs, her mother would have still been alive today.
I would like to be a doctor. I would like to help other people who are sick, who are losing their lives and leaving their children alone like us. Yeah.
She's HIV and she's been so sick throughout the years that we've known her. These are her children. They were born without HIV because we went to the hospital and I think she's been taking the mother-to-child prevention. Her siblings and her family, they segregate her. They say she's the one who has AIDS and she doesn't. So she worries about who's going to be able to take care of her children.
It's really taboo in America too. Like, it was times where I was scared to go get tested just because, like, I would think, like, man, if I had it, I wouldn't even want to know because I really wasn't educated in the disease and educated in the treatment.
That's right. A certain stigma that goes along.
A certain stigma that goes along with it. This is Daziona, and she's 12 years old. One day, took her to the nurse and found that she had an infection, and she admitted she was being sexually abused by 2 men in her village. Usually in Malawi, when a young girl is raped, people don't talk about it. The mother is put to shame as to why she didn't protect her child. So they keep it hush. But you don't keep things hush at Jacaranda. So that evening, we arrested the 2 men. So this man takes her to the garden and takes out her panties. But he said to her that if I do this to you, then I'm going to feel better.
That's what they think. When they sleep with a young lady like her, then they'll feel better.
Oh, but I can see your spirit shining bright, like a beautiful mosaic, a kaleidoscope of light. Even if the sky goes falling down, know that the in your way they can solve you now.
Queen Elizabeth Hospital gives free medication to HIV patients and serves a massive amount of people.
So basically the files you see, these are the numbers. We are talking of in excess of 12,000 patients. On average, on daily basis, we see around 250. Right now we have only 2 clinicians. The people eligible for ART, we're using the criteria of CD4 count of 500.
CD4 cells defend your body against disease, but HIV destroys these cells. The more HIV replicates in your body, the lower your CD4 count, leaving you susceptible to every disease and infection.
WHO now is talking of universal. So whoever is found HIV positive, they have to be put on treatment. Yeah. Now, if you look at the space we have, and if we are able to test and treat each and every patient, in the scenario we are today, it won't be easy if we don't get external help.
I would imagine you're spilling over with patients.
Oh yeah, that's why the first thing I mentioned was space and staff, because I know that the numbers are still growing.
I can't even imagine that this is even a thing.
It's just the suffering. I mean, that was just one section of one hospital. That doesn't even include all the people that are affected by this all around the world. They're on the floor. They're sleeping on the floor.
So basically, if you're on treatment, it's less likely that you could transfer the virus. If you're on treatment, it's less likely that kids will be born with the virus. So if we provide treatment for all, there's a good chance that we can welcome a generation that is HIV negative.
That I would definitely say is very possible. Yes.
What obstacles do you have for getting treatment to the people?
Malawi, we have a population of about 15 million. Not all these people stay in urban areas. A lot of them, a larger percentage, are in rural areas. We can reach them through one health center in their own location.
These people, is this typical? This is a typical day of all these women and children waiting?
It's even more than this per day. This is a Friday.
This is a quiet day.
It's a quiet day. Wow. Come on Monday, come on Tuesday. This is our waiting area for the mothers. Then they get their HIV tests.
These are all pregnant women waiting to be seen.
Our facility, we only have one clinician who has got diploma, and then we have 3 medical assistants. Usually we see around 350 clients. We do not have a medical doctor. We do not really necessarily need a medical doctor here.
And that's what's so groundbreaking about the centers. They've empowered clinicians and medical assistants to do what doctors and nurses used to do. These centers may lack certain comforts, but without them, the rural population has no access to treatment. If you had access to enough medication, you would put anyone who tests positive on the ARTs.
Everybody on treatment once found positive, I hope.
Everybody, there's newborn babies and their mothers laying on the ground under little cots because there's not enough space. So it's unbelievable.
We have the resources to treat HIV.
So why are millions of people around the world still dying?
Why are millions of children orphaned? Why are infection rates still going up in certain demographics? We want to do something about that.
And we're initiating the Treatment for All campaign to treat all new infections.
Our goal is to accomplish an 80% reduction in HIV. And if we do that, we will effectively stop this epidemic.
We can put an end to AIDS.
And we have the resources to do that right now.
It's time. It's time.
It's time.
It's time.
Can you explain why it's more important than ever to do this right now?
The infection rate among young people has not abated at all. And because we've saved so many children under 5, they're now teenagers. So we have 30 to 40% more young women in sub-Saharan Africa than at any time during the epidemic. And so if we don't impact their rates of new infections, if the epidemic is going to reach proportions where over 100 million will have become infected. And also, we're at a critical time where we have all the tools we need to have the impact that we've all dreamt about having for the last 30 years.
Absolutely.
Can you imagine if I told you that we had everything we needed to decrease the number of cancer cases by 90%? People would be so excited, it would be groundbreaking, and everybody would call for that today.
70% of the population are in these rural areas that they can't get to the testing and the medication. How do you see us solving that problem?
Right now, patients are being seen every 1 to 3 months.
Right, to get their meds.
Exactly.
For that period.
But imagine if they only had to come back once a year and pick up a 12-month supply. And this is important not only for HIV/AIDS. We think this is the complete game changer in the epidemic.
They need to get on that medication right away and stay on that medication.
Yes. HIV can be a very complicated disease if we allow people to get sick. But it's not a complicated disease if we treat people while they're well. 1,000 young women infected every day. 35,000 new infections a week.
This is worldwide?
Worldwide. 20,000 deaths a week. That ought to be a compelling enough reason that we all ought to go back and find out how we can do this faster and better.
If you want to save lives and stop an epidemic that has already claimed tens of millions of people, treatment is the best prevention. But in order to do it, you also have to do some education so people will get tested first. But the vast majority of the money ought to go into treatment. Because once you start treating somebody, their CD4 count stays higher, and they are dramatically less likely to infect someone else. It's a cascading virtue, and we need to do it. Now we're on the verge of, for the first time ever, thanks to 2 great companies, Aurobindo and Mylan, and all of their partners, of being able to have one pill to treat people with HIV and AIDS that costs less than $100. It's never happened. Once that does happen, the money that has already been appropriated will go exponentially further.
You know, our mission with Treatment for All is to reach the masses. We're hoping to reach 1 billion people with this message. I'm so excited.
You're going to create a new future for all of us. You will, because it's that kind of awareness that we need people to understand there's still a risk of HIV, whether you're in the United States or whether you're in Malawi.
Yo, I need your help to take Treatment for All viral.
Yes, I'm totally in for Treatment for All.
Yes, I'm in for Treatment for All.
All you gotta do is use the hashtag Treatment for All.
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 Hashtag Treatment for All.
Treatment for All. Treatment for All. Treatment for All.